Be like, oh no, we are back. We are back. Good people. What is going on? What
Yes.
is happening? What is happening? We are here today, and y'all know what time it is. It's Wind Down
But
Wednesday.
now Wednesday.
It's Wind Down Wednesday. And we here to talk about it and let you have it and everything else. Laugh, talk, cry, smile, do whatever we got to do on this beautiful day. God is good. It's all good. Life is good. So we must continue to go on as much as possible. So at
For
the end of the day, welcome to Wind Down Wednesday. We are back and live and in living color. Y'all know who I am. I'm Sandy. I'm sitting here. Y'all see my girl with the sun rays shining down.
hey, it's your girl Chanice. Y'all know it's the middle of the week. It's hump day. It's Wind Down Wednesday. You know how we do it every single week. We bring it to you. It might not be exactly at 6 o'clock, but that's all right. We bringing
Yeah,
it.
we bringing it. We bringing it to you. So we about
Yeah,
to make this thing happen, and we about to make it happen just for you. So in the meantime, in between time, how you been, sis? How is your week?
I'm doing great. My week is going well. Can't complain. I'm out, obviously, on location, so I'm out here in this weather, which is beautiful. Got the sun rays going, so I can't complain.
Right?
Any time on this side of the dirt, no complaints.
Exactly. It's a
How
good
about
time.
you?
Well, my week was good. I've been blessed. I'm still smiling. I'm gonna try to continue to smile regardless.
For sure.
Good. The weather for the last few days, for the last week or so, has been wonderful. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
have not been complaining. I am not complaining. Life is good. God is good. It's all good. It's just my week has been great. I'm so glad that it's not hot, and it's nowhere near hot. It's like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Girl, we was burning up. I have not turned on my air conditioning this week.
Well, I'm outside. Well, I'm in the air conditioner now, but I was outside, and it is hot today. It's a hot one today. We did have a great event at the Artsville on Sunday. So I seen you in the building.
Yep.
Um, it was a good time. Cincinnati didn't turn out how we wanted them to, but hey, we gotta keep the train moving anyhow.
Hey,
You know?
if it's 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50 people up in that mug,
Whoever was there, that was who was meant to be there.
exactly. And if you
Yep.
laughing, it don't get no better than laughing. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta laugh. I know laughter is good for the soul. I don't care what nobody say. In a sad, most difficult, hard time, if you're laughing, that is good. It's a good
That's for
thing
sure.
to laugh. So we are definitely encouraging everybody to continue to laugh. And there will be another comedy show coming up, but there
For
is
sure.
another show coming up because there's skating coming up. So we're gonna put that out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Skating coming up. Then we got Rick Sexton.
yep.
Show coming up. So yeah, y'all gotta stay tuned. Y'all gotta make sure y'all are on the Tuck Radio page. Tell your deacon, missionary saints,
And
and
friends.
friends.
But it's going down, and it's going
Yes,
down here in Cincinnati. So we want to make sure everybody have a great time, but most of all, be safe because 4th of July is coming up. So we won't see you guys until after the 4th. And we want to make
right.
sure that you guys have a wonderful and safe holiday. Enjoy yourself, but be safe, be smart, enjoy family, enjoy the time that you have with each other as much as possible. For
For
those
sure.
that be around family. So it is the 4th of July week. We coming up on the weekend. So
Yes.
cook your
Be
chicken.
safe. Be safe. Watch
Yes,
them fireworks. Don't get no ass put out.
right. Don't
Watch
burn
the
no
babies.
don't burn nobody's house down because you see
Listen.
things up in the air and they coming down. Be extremely careful. Watch them
Yes.
babies. Watch them babies. Do not be,
Yes.
be shooting out fireworks without watching kids. So everybody, we want you to be safe this weekend coming up because it is the 4th of July on Monday. And so we won't see you guys until after that. But in the meantime, we want you guys to be safe. So you know what we doing? We are about to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Good people. It's a couple of things that's going on, but let me see how everybody feels for those that are watching. What in the world, there's three things I want to talk about: the Roe v. Wade, the
Oh,
Roe v. Wade, and the Miranda rights. In case y'all don't know, you need to Google it and look at it, because you have the right to remain silent ain't the right to remain silent no more, because we got all these new Supreme justices that are in there that are just overturning things that's been in place for 50 to 1,000 years, 150 years.
yes,
And all of a
yes,
sudden, they want to change it. They want to get rid of it. They want to kick it out the door as though it has never happened. So we want to talk about that. And then, because we are big, 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 big on voting. I don't care what nobody say. I was reading in the paper yesterday where down in, I think, Louisiana, it's like 2/3 or a large portion of their population is African Americans. But they have already designed it and redesigned it so they can only specifically go to certain locations to vote. Now, you and I know that if you 85 and you don't have transportation, but you want to go vote,
right.
there's no way they're going to be able to get 20 to 50 miles away to go vote. That's some bull crap. We often say
Yeah.
primaries are important. Primaries are more important than the major freaking elections.
That, and if you know these things, I mean, even here locally in Cincinnati, when it comes to voting and it's someone older or someone can't get there, help them get there. Start a carpool and say, hey, yourself and get maybe two other people that drive, and let's go and let's help those that can't get there. It's just one day, but that one day makes a difference.
Right.
Carpool. Hey,
Right.
I'll pick you up. We all do it together, and then I can drop you back off. It's
Exactly.
simple. Like, it's the only excuses are the ones that we make at the end of the day.
But I can't say it enough though. Vote, 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 and we wouldn't have these issues that we are having. What I will say is that the mayor here of Cincinnati is going to try to step in and do something about the Roe v. Wade. Let's go ahead on and talk about Roe v. Wade. So,
Man, it's
a mess.
It's like a cold day in hell. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't really think that. I never thought that this would even be an issue that has to be talked about again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you thought it was done, it was set. I mean, that's been eons of years ago.
Yes.
And here we are again, undoing what was done.
Because the Supreme Court is undoing some things that has been in place for 50 years. Okay, let's say this. Say I get pregnant, but my pregnancy is a tubal pregnancy. But I'm in a state where I can't do anything about it, or a doctor can't do anything. I can't go and abort it or do anything like this. But if I continue to have that tubal baby, it may kill me. So now
right.
So you gonna tell me, you are gonna sit there and tell me what I can and can't do for my body or to my body when it comes to me and my health. Make it make sense to me. What I don't like, and I'm sure the majority of them on Supreme Court were men that voted.
Of course.
Because they don't have no say so in what happens to their body, but they want to say something about what happens to a female body.
I mean, I feel like just as quickly and just as easily as they overturned that these men can get vasectomies. These men can start to create a birth control for men. It doesn't have to all be put on us. Everything is put on us as a woman to have the baby, to carry the baby, to nurture it, feed it, all of these things. But where is the responsibility? Because it takes two people to make a child, not just one. And so, where's the contraception? Where's the responsibility for these men to take responsibility for, who they putting their meat in? I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
We know that men are out here sexing these women left and right.
For sure.
Making babies, intentionally making babies, don't really care what happens to the female after she have that baby. There are men that are out there doing that and don't give a crap. So why not make that? Why not, if you're going to overturn something, then I'm like you, why not force that man to do a vasectomy?
And if it's my it should be my body, my rights, you know what I mean? It should be. And if that's the case, then again, it goes back onto the man as well. Everything is put on us, on controlling when we should have a kid, when we should not, when we should have abortion, when we should not. I just
Right.
don't think that should be in someone else's hands because, as you said, fragile things happen to everybody, but women, fragile things happen to women. We're
Right.
talking about rapes,
Yep.
incest. I mean, you name it. What mother wants to look in the face of her child
Exactly.
of her father, for example,
It's like
being raped or taken advantage of by your family member, and you are
right.
made to have this child, and you have to look at this child and know the trauma that you went through. Oh, just have it anyway.
Exactly.
But
You know,
but you have that much right to tell me what I should do. Where are you in the parenting? Where are you when it comes to raising this kid,
exactly.
diapering it,
With
feeding
my
it,
body.
clothing it, college, etc., whatever the kid needs? If you have that much power to say I can or can't get rid of a baby, you need to be financially there.
And that's it. Because here's the thing, you're gonna tell me I cannot have the baby. But what if I do have the baby? What if something happens, like you just said, it's a financial thing. It could be financially, I cannot take care of a kid, or that person can't take care of the kid, or neither can you 16 and can't take care of children.
Yeah.
I mean, if that child gets pregnant by accident, if a girl or little girl gets pregnant by accident, ain't nothing an accident, because if you're laying down having sex and giving your booty up to somebody and you get pregnant, then you get pregnant. But
Right.
you know there are times where birth control don't always work, and you don't always put kids or girls on birth control until they get a certain age, after they had that period. It's pretty much
Here's my thing too. It's convenient that now they've made the HPV vaccine for males, and so if you can do that, why is it that you can't make a birth control for males? Something where these males are held accountable instead of, oh, we're gonna control your body and not we're just gonna control your body. We ain't gonna worry about his. But it takes two bodies.
It does
to make another body.
But then too, who are you trying to prevent from having babies? Black women or white women?
I just think it's all part of a plan. I think it's part of population control. To some extent, which is really ridiculous.
Yep.
But a lot of countries, that's women can only have 2 children. Like they'll be stoned or flogged, things of that sort, if they have more than one. So I mean, we're just in a selfish time right now. With revelations, in my opinion, because a lot of things that's wrong is right now.
Yep.
A lot of things that's right is all of a sudden wrong.
Yep.
And so it's just a complete chaos.
It's a mess. It's a mess. But you want to control my body. You want to tell me that I need to take birth control. I might not be able to take birth control because
what if I can't afford it?
And then what if the birth control causes some kind of health issues to me, but you still want me to try not to have a baby? What's up, Kelly?
Hey, Kelly, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. We're talking about that Roe v. Wade.
Yep.
And I mean, because my thing is this: what if I can't? Because all medication you can't take. Some medication causes fibroid tumor, and people don't know that.
And everybody can't take everything. What works for one woman can get on Depo, another one can't.
Right.
Or one woman can take the pill and it work, another one can't. And all of these other variations. But where's the birth control? Where is the control of these men?
Nowhere.
In their bodies.
Nowhere. Men they are allowed to continue to do it at the Sam Hill they want to whenever they get ready. I.e., case in point, rape somebody and nothing happens, and then she ends up having a baby. Come on now.
Yeah, It's definitely one-sided. I'm definitely not okay with it. I really was in my feelings about it because I know, and I've worked with young ladies, young women period, that have experienced traumatic trauma, and that's not something that they they wanted to place on their kid growing up and them telling them, where my dad at? Oh, your dad is actually my dad, so it's your granddad, but it's your dad too. Like, just more disturbing things, you know what
It
I mean? That's
really
just
is.
one example out of a gazillion. It's just not okay.
Yeah, because if my child should get raped by somebody or whatever, God forbid, I'm not wishing that and praying it on anybody. But if it happens, you mean to tell me that she got to have that baby? We can't do nothing, or we got to travel 400 miles just not to have a baby?
That's it. Or I'm gonna take it a step further. Or what you're gonna find is just like how people out here getting these generic big booties, BBLs, and they getting injected with Fix-A-Flat and stuff like that. You're gonna have women that are gonna be doing home abortions with, like they did back in the day with coat hangers.
Exactly.
Unsafe for their health. But I can't afford to drive 4,000
Right.
miles or 400 miles and pay this amount of money to get rid of this
Right.
unborn child that nobody asked me if I want. I didn't want to participate in. I was taken
Exactly.
advantage of. I was raped or I was assaulted, by whomever. I don't have that kind of money. So now I got to go in Joanna's basement and pray to God that the hanger that she's using to end this baby, to end this life, won't end my life.
Exactly. I won't bleed to death, or bleed out, and then now you got a possibly a murder case on your hand because one thing leads to another. What's up, Thomas? Thomas Stacy, it's not right. I get it. We agree.
No.
I'm not agreeing with it. I think women should have the say in what they want to do with their own bodies.
For sure.
Because they are the ones that have to live with it. Nobody else have to live with all of this. You let her live with that guilt if she decided to have an abortion. That's on her. It should not be on somebody else in a higher up or a higher courts or whatever making that decision for her.
Because when she having that baby, where the higher court's gonna be at? Where are they gonna be? What finance are they gonna kick in to help her support to take care of this child? Where are they gonna be at when they have to explain how this child really got here? Where are they gonna be at when that child needs counseling because they found out that they were born through a stressful and trauma situation?
Yep.
Where are they now?
And it's gonna cost her more to have it and keep it than it would if she made that decision not to. I'm not condoning abortions or anything like that.
Not at all. I'm totally against that. But I'm totally against you taking a person's freedom to choose what works for them.
Right.
That's not okay.
Right. Because you can't tell me and dictate to me what's good for my body because you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know, because a lot of women get pregnant and have fibroid tumors, and those fibroid tumors cause them to have some kind of health issues. So either they're going to keep the baby or they're going to deal with the baby and the fibroids and cause more damage to their body, or just go on and do whatever they can to get rid of it just to live a healthier life. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense.
You won't ever make it make sense. And it's just like you said, a mother who has a tubal pregnancy, like she's just supposed to chill and possibly die once her tube explodes because it can't hold that child. Like she's just supposed to, like, what like, seriously, whoever allowed this to happen really didn't think this thing through. And clearly, like you said, they had to be a man because there's no way.
Right.
There's no way.
My thing too, it's they talking about one of the Supreme Court justices was threatened. His life was threatened. Well, heck, he was put in office by Trump. Then it was somebody else put in office by Trump. Then they tell us, they fooled us during the time that it was going through trying to see if they wanted to have them as Supreme Court justices. But they was talking about how they tricked them, how they fooled them. They didn't really tell them the right thing. No, y'all knew what you was getting when the man was up in there. You knew what you was getting. You know what you get
Terrible.
when you vote for people. Because I read these things and the people are still so hateful about a lot of stuff that's going on because it was created. Yes, I'm gonna say it. It was all of this was created by Trump. I'm agree with Biden on that because he said that. You
Yeah.
not
He put a lot of foolishness into playing and it's into works even still.
because it don't make sense to me. Now, even if it was Biden, I say the same thing. If he was the reason why we got those Supreme Court justices in there, and they ended up not doing the right thing and not making the right decisions when it came to Roe v. Wade or women's rights, period. Because that's what it's about. This is about women's rights.
Right.
We came so far, but yet we're taking so many steps back.
Yeah.
And that darn Clarence Thomas need to sit his butt down somewhere
Oh
and
Lord.
sleep. They just need to get rid of him because he is horrible. Horrible. Him and his wife are terrible. So it's like, these people have been in there. Everybody should have a term, even in the Supreme Court justices. They should have a term.
Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, I just feel like it's all about greed.
Yeah, and then the greed, not only that, greed in a financial way. It's all monetary, it's all based on finances. Everything that's done, all of the political stuff nowadays is based on finances.
It's right. It's money. It has something to do with some money.
All got
Follow the green.
follow the money. Follow the money, and you would know what's going on. So we're not happy about the Roe v. Wade. We're not ecstatic about it.
I can't believe it. I was just like dumbfounded. Like, are you serious? All these many years, like, wow.
I cannot believe
nothing's safe. No one's safe. We're just in different times, and the things that you're used to, get unused to it because, yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a different time, and we need to educate ourselves and our children on what's going on because times are now totally different than what it was, and that's what it has been and what it used to be. And with that being said, when I say times have changed, don't think that if you ever get pulled over by the police and something happens, y'all ain't even paying attention to the Miranda rights probably either. Those Miranda rights is
when was the last time you heard them read?
Well, now they ain't got to read them. You can't sue them for not reading them. You cannot sue a police officer for not reading you your Miranda rights. You cannot. And I don't even know if you can do anything about them not reading your Miranda rights because we already know, we see it on TV so often, and if police officers, if you do something which causes an arrest, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will. And then if they don't read that, and then of course you start yapping or whatever happening, and then you was like, well, they never read me my rights. I'm gonna sue them. Can't happen. Can't happen.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Because of the people that we put in out.
They said it ain't needed. It ain't needed. It ain't needed. We make the decision. You be all right. We ain't reading nothing.
You ain't reading nothing. And the bad thing about it is when they change these laws and when they do the different things, it becomes so complicated for those that don't know. And those that don't understand. So
as if it wasn't already complicated to begin with, because half the people don't even know what a Miranda right is. Like, what is that?
Yep. But then too, a lot of them don't know because they probably haven't even been involved and came in contact.
Yeah, you ain't been in a situation where you ever had to even worry about that.
Right. And I often say to, my child, I'm like, just be careful and be cognizant of what's going on and what's happening around you. Because that's what you want to do. Be extremely careful on how you do things and how things are done. Because at this point in time, at the rate things are going, there's always something changing in a lawful manner. And if you don't keep up with it, then you're gonna be left behind the 8 ball, not knowing what's going on. And then when you try to do something, that ain't it.
It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
Yesterday ain't today. I always say that now. Yesterday is definitely not today
at all.
And I seen, when you talk about that, I seen that video, which was so disturbing, of the man that they had arrested and put him in the back of this the sheriff or police paddy wagon and didn't strap him in and was just driving so crazy that by the time they got to where they were going, the man was paralyzed.
Right. Right.
It's
His life,
horrible.
his whole life is like cut short. You know, the way he was living, he can't live that way anymore. Which was once again, now that issue happened before this new Miranda rights change came about. But you just have to be careful, and you have to know what the new laws are and what the laws are. But I think this Roe v. Wade it's so confusing to people.
That, and I feel like it's the beginning of a lot of changes that we never seen coming. So look for more shockers when it comes to a lot of these laws, a lot of, when it comes to the different branches of government. Expect these shockers because that was a door opener for a whole lot of other things that are about to happen.
Somebody was saying gun laws are more important than women laws. You know, women don't have no rights, but all those gun laws, they got all kind of rights in the world, but these women don't have rights. You know, it's like you got more gun laws on that's supporting things than you don't have this the women's rights that it's not supporting. And then Clarence Thomas said something about the LGBT community, talking about cut something back or stop it, or he said some stupid stuff about lesbian and gays or something. We should do something. I got to go back and look at that, but his comment was dumb as all get out. What's up, AJ?
Hey, AJ, thanks for tuning in. We're just talking about this Roe versus Wade being overturned, and it's just a shocking time, and other shockers are definitely upon us.
all the shocking things, you know, we're talking about the Roe v. Wade, we're talking about the Miranda rights. So don't think because you get pulled over and you get stopped, and you know he or she may arrest you for whatever, and you was like they didn't read me my Miranda rights. They ain't
got to.
The Supreme Court caused a lot of things to take place that are actually going, and I don't care what nobody say. Like I said, that Roe v. Wade, it's got a whole lot to do with population, a whole lot to do with population. But the population with whom? With what race?
Right.
You know, because I'm
clearly anybody who can't afford, because I mean, all the changes we done seen in medical coverage alone within the past, I'll say 2 years.
Yes.
You got to go 2 years.
Yeah.
A lot of women aren't, couldn't afford it. So now they're really not about to. So like I said, we about to go back to the old school days in the 60s and the 50s where they were doing those closet cold room abortions with hangers, which is super unsafe.
And you're sitting in water and you're bleeding to death, or whatever the case may be, or however they do it. I don't know how they do it, but I just don't agree with what happened with the Roe v. Wade. And I'm not particularly crazy about what they did with the Miranda rights. But we often tell you guys, you got to stay up on stuff that you need to know about. Those are 2 laws that I know everybody, especially African Americans, need to make sure that they know about, because Roe v. Wade has a lot to do with the medical issues, the medical piece, and what takes place too, especially when it comes to women. But the Roe v. Wade, I'm gonna say the Miranda it's for everybody to know, because you need to know what's going on. You need to know how to take care of yourself and what to say and what to do and what you can do and cannot do. It's really important. It's extremely important that you know that you deal with it accordingly. So a big thing here, another big thing here in Cincinnati that's going on, that just like came up in the last few days or whatever. We have a group of kids. Now, they do this in Atlanta. From my understanding, it happens in Atlanta. You got a group of kids that's got a cooler, and they want to get in the middle of the street, and they want to sell water. On hot days, they want to sell water. You know, they may have some potato chips that they want to sell, but they're in the middle of the street. So with them being in the middle of the street, people called on them because they thought it was dangerous, with them running in and dodging in and out of cars trying to get them to buy the water when the light's red and then it turned green. And it's like, you got to shuck and jive to try to get back to your spot or the other side or whatever. And, they were thinking that somebody might get hit. So the run came in. Of course, it was a radio run. Somebody called because they were concerned about juveniles, the young people's safety. And we all should be concerned about their safety. So they called the police, police went, and the police told them, well, you can't do this in the street. You know, you need to get out of the street, make sure, you know, to be safe and all. But you know, our children these days, this is what I don't understand. Why are our babies so disrespectful? Not they, and they disrespectful to everybody. You know, and then being disrespectful caused the kid to get arrested. And now it's like, oh, you know, the news reporters talking about a bunch of hoodlums in the middle of the street selling water and whatever.
Of course.
Right. And then one of the kids was like, well, this is an entrepreneurial thing that we're trying to do for ourselves. So we're trying to create our own business, our own job, and earn our own money the way that they want to do it. Because we know, and this is not every kid, children that age 13, 14, 15, 16, they don't want to work.
No, they want it easy as possible. Less work.
They wanna stand. So these kids were standing in the roadway trying to sell water. So now it's blown up. So what do you do? How do you help? What can you do? I don't even know if you can do anything, because if they don't want to, I had some ideas, but if they don't want to earn a real, what's considered a real living by going to get a real job, then what do you do? You know,
Right.
what are you going to create? What kind of jobs are you going to create? Because the jobs are out there. People just aren't working.
Right. And see, my thing would be my question would be, how old were the children? Were they 10, 11, and 12? Because at those ages you can't work. There is no programs like we had here in Cincinnati, CCY, where you were a teenager. I believe the youngest was like 13 or 14. You could start working. We don't have those type of programs now. So if you're like not 15 and a half with a work permit, it's like, how else are you going to make money?
Right. It's like, and the summer is just pretty much beginning. So what do we do for our young people? How can we help our young people be better and do better? Standing in the middle of the street, trying to do this, that, and the other. You're not trying to stop them or prevent them from earning money, but you know, it's a better way of doing things. It's always a better way to the approach. And
Safety first. Safety first.
Safety is first. Safety first. Now, in case y'all didn't know, see, that's what we're doing. We're talking about it. It's Wednesday. It's Wind Down Wednesday. So we talking about. So what do you think about R. Kelly getting sentenced to 30 years?
Woo! Woo!
Do you think it's enough?
Woo! Oh Lord.
Do you think it's enough?
Here's my thing. I'm glad he was sentenced. It's been way long overdue. So many lives ruined. You know, he probably, somebody was saying like he probably won't even serve the whole 30. He'll probably do 15. At the end of the day, even if he do 15, he gonna be about 70.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know. I think he deserved it. It's possible that they probably could have gave him more. I don't know, but he still haven't faced the charges in, I believe, Chicago. So yeah, still got that.
And that's just on a federal.
That's not until August.
Right. And I think that's on a federal level too.
Right.
You know, like you said, I don't know about the state and the local or whatever else, or if there is other states that are filing charges or have filed charges or want to file charges because it happened in the state.
Right.
But it's 30 years enough. Because he already 50 something.
He 55.
Yeah, I mean, it's 30 years enough. He'll be 85. 85 when he get out. But you know, Bill Cosby, how old is Bill Cosby?
If he get out, I mean, he probably around about 80, almost close to 90.
So
he can hardly see. So it's like, you know, I just feel like, you know, with people like R. Kelly, a lot of people allowed him to do what he was doing, and I feel like those people should have got some time too, because they enabled him. He could have been stopped a long time ago if somebody would have just said no. But at the end of the day, it's always about people lining their pockets and making them fat and looking the other way. And so therefore, at the end of the day, just like we always talk about on the show, nobody's really getting away with nothing because God sees all. So that little 30 years is really gonna be nothing compared to the hell
Right.
that he's gonna have to face when it's time for him to face God. So, hopefully pray he repents and actually is sorry, but he need to sit where he's at, because that's what he's done is just super unexcusable.
Yes. And one thing that we must do is continue to pray for the families that were involved. Pray for him too. I mean, because there were so many people hurt behind this, and trauma set in, and they're going dealing with that for the rest of their lives. So 30 years for them may not be long enough, or they don't feel like it's long enough. But it's just so many things happening. So will he be pardoned? Will he be able to get out? Or if whoever the next president to come in, will they let him out? So it's a whole lot of things that's going on between now and then, or whatever. I'm like, will he serve 30 years?
Right. I mean, and hurt people hurt people. We talk about church hurt, we talk about all those things, but at the end of the day, there has to be a level of accountability.
Right.
And at the level that he was at, there's plenty of therapists and counseling that he could have gotten in, or other people could have gotten him, drug him to, or whatever they had to do. But again, it was always about the money. It was always about, and with more money came more power, and with more power came more availability for him to feel like he could just do whatever he wanted to. So now it's just time for him to sit, think, and reflect on some of the choices that he's made, and know those that were participating in it, and got girls, or however it had anything to do with it. They may not be serving a prison sentence behind bars, but trust me, they're serving a sentence.
Exactly. And they will be serving that sentence for the remainder of their life. That's the whole thing. Because they'll be dealing with that trauma from now until. It's not like something that's just going to go away. It's something that they have to deal with on a daily basis, which means that, however young they are. Now, what happens if one of them get pregnant? What happens if one of them get pregnant by somebody and they're having so many medical or mental issues, and really won't be able to be into the mindset to take care of a child? What are you going to do?
Right. And it's disturbing, because he has children, but yet he was touching on other people's children. And so therefore, his kids now are they totally different.
Yeah.
And they're out here, and they'll probably reproduce also. A lot of people, they just don't think about the consequences go way beyond, first generation or second generation. Like, iniquities is a real thing, and it's really sad. We know that Satan was the author of, he was in charge of music. And so it's just really sad that a lot of people are gifted and talented, and they use that in a negative way.
Yep. In a huge negative way. So it's Wednesday. We're sitting here talking about it. How do you feel about the Roe v. Wade? How do you feel about Miranda rights not being read anymore, and you can't sue the police for not reading them to you? And
ain't that something?
Girl, you can't get away and get off now because you're saying they didn't read me my rights. Well, technically, from what the Supreme Court says, you really don't have to. Read it, check it out, find it, and see what it says, because I think it's the utmost importance that we know, and I can't say it enough. We need to know what is actually going on in the world, because we are involved in that, and we make decisions. We do cast our vote. It's what are we gonna do?
Right. And we're in a time where I feel like, as adults, again, it's Wind Down Wednesday. Y'all know how we do it. We talk about it real, but I feel like we're just in a time as adults that we have to not just single think, double and triple think about our actions and things that we're going to do in the day, so that we can make sure that we're not a part of the problem, that we're avoiding, situations. Right. Now, we can't avoid everything. No one's perfect. But for the most part, there's certain surroundings, there's certain situations, there's certain places that I can't be, that I feel I can't be, because I don't want to take a chance to even put myself in that type of situation. So that's how we have to think. And it's sad, but that's what it is now, Safety first, safety first, safety first
Hey,
in all things,
always, always.
in all things. Yes.
And that's what I say. Safety first. God first, then safety. But you
Yes.
actually want to think of safety first because you and I know there's so much stuff going on around here. We want to be safe. Want to be safe. We want our family members and our closest friends to be safe. But we got to do what we need to do that's right in order to be safe.
For sure. For sure.
Everything that's done these days is strictly and clearly political. I don't care what it is. It's all political.
And some things can be avoided. Some things that we can avoid, like I knew I shouldn't have probably, you know what I mean? Like you got to listen to that little voice, you know what I mean? If you still hear the little voice and you ain't ignored it so much, but I just feel like, we talk about God all the time, like God speaks to us in different situations. And a lot of sometimes we hear him and sometimes we ignore him, and so, we just got to be a little bit more mindful, listen up a lot more, and just be, thinking about everything that's going on in our surroundings, because you could just be taking a run to the store and just be at the wrong place at the wrong time, So now, like, I know a lot of people, just an example, may get upset, like, dang, I was supposed to be at this place at this time, but something happened where you were late. Thank God, praise God, because you were late, because God was holding you from something. You know what I mean? And not all the time is it going to be put on the news. Not all the time are you going to know what it was that he was holding you from, but it was something.
Yep.
You late, but you made it there. You still there. You on one piece, and you get to go. Somebody didn't go to sleep tonight. Somebody didn't wake up. So that's how you got to think.
Yep, and you got to stop being so selfish. It's like, stop being selfish. I'm like you. Think about others. Think about what the outcome on the other end. But people don't want to do that. We sitting here talking about Roe v. Wade. Nobody wants to read about it. I'm sure people are hearing about it because it's been all on the news. It's going to continue to be on the news. Because I know Biden said what he wants on the federal level, he wants those judges to make sure that in those states it'll be okay and women can pretty much take care of themselves, especially if it's some kind of health issue. Because I'm telling you, I look at it when you got a 50-year-old woman that's having issues with having her baby, and if she has that baby, it could cause some medical issues. But she need to get rid of it. She need to, let it go. But then you're gonna tell her she can't. Make it make sense. I don't want, this lady that I saw last week, a couple weeks ago. She was 16 and he was 30. I think that's she was 16. I know it's been a minute. So she got pregnant from him. He wanted her, I guess, to have an abortion or whatever back then, or whatever the case may be, but she decided to have the baby. So he pretty much raped her. He made this excuse like, oh, I thought she was older than what she was, and she was like, no, he knew she was 16. Yeah, she might have been a little tipsy or whatever. They want to blame it on, they want to give it a reason it happened.
Right.
The reason why you raped her, why you violated her, and she ended up getting pregnant. So now the judge came in and they gave him, the baby's 5. And she don't take care of this baby for 5 years. The judge comes in and give the man custody of the baby. Yeah, judge came in and gave the man custody of the kid.
For what? For what basis?
The good question, because when she was on TV, she appeared to be where she could take care of herself, because she took care of herself and the baby for 5 years. So then he goes and said, well, he makes no comments, but then the comments he do make was stupid, and said, well, we had too much to drink and we was all drinking together, and and she looked older.
That's a child. You another R. Kelly. This is a part of the problem. It's a child. You could have paid for a prostitute. You could have, what I'm saying? There's so many other variables out here for you to get your rocks off. You picked a kid.
Yes. So the statute of limitations, of course, was in there and did all that other stuff. And so she filed a report and did what she had to do on her end. Only to now, a family member has the baby. A family member now. You were raped by this man and got pregnant. And you're going to still allow him to take part and be a part of that child's life. These are the things that I'm talking about right there. Now, she kept the baby though, but she was raped. What if she wouldn't have, what if she wouldn't have gotten or had the baby or whatever? But then you still penalize her. She's still being penalized for what?
For something that wasn't in her control as a minor.
Still penalized. Women are still being penalized for things, and men are calling the shots. Men in the Supreme Court are calling the shots. We're still penalized in women. But then you don't want to get rid of us. You love us. You can't, you can't do without us. But you gonna beat me up. I ain't got no right. And you gonna rape me. I ain't got no right. And then I get pregnant. I can't have abortion. I ain't got no right. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Hell in a handbasket.
My thing is, I pray that whenever my child decides to have kids, she won't have no medical issues. She won't have no issues where she, can't get pregnant. And if it, it's like, so what happens? Here's another example. A woman gets pregnant and she has miscarriage. So what do? The baby is still in her if it all don't come out, but she can't go to the clinic and do whatever she needs to do, or go to the doctor's office, or go to the hospital and get a DNC and get herself all cleared out. She can't do that. But you rather for her to keep that stuff inside her, whatever didn't get out, you want her to keep it inside her, which causes an infection in her body.
That could kill her.
That could possibly kill her. Antibiotics ain't gonna help everything. Now, when gonorrhea, syphilis, whatever the things, the STDs that you had, now you might have been able to pop a pill.
But if they controlling it like that, you ain't gonna even be able to get you ain't getting no morning afters either. And I heard somebody, I know they were just joking and saying like they was gonna buy them all up and sell them for like $2,000. People always trying to make it come up. I'm about all the Plan Bs.
Yep.
And I'm gonna just sell them.
Which is crazy. But that's what's happening. That is because there were so many clinics that shut down immediately after the Supreme Court came out with their decision. Shut down immediately.
So imagine the women who were like literally in the clinic.
I know.
With their feet in the straps. And they come back in like, hey, sorry to inform you,
we gotta quit.
Yeah, we gotta stop now.
But what even happens if they're in the midst of going through the procedure?
That's horrible. It's horrible.
It's a shame. But they can go by titties and booties and thighs. They can go
to buy you a whole new body
and lips.
Lip injections, BBLs, tummy tucks, all of that. You do all of that.
All of that. But if you're being violated, raped,
but not when it comes to life. When it comes to life, you don't have to say.
Especially if you were raped and incest. Come on now, I just can't. I can't get over.
That trauma that hurts me.
I can't get over that.
That's really just continuing the trauma, because now you got to raise this kid and eventually tell them how they came about, because everybody wants to know. Anybody that's born want to know, like, hey, what happened, or how did y'all meet, or you know what I mean, like. And now I got to ruin your life. I got to add more trauma to you. Was born into trauma by telling you your story, my story, our story.
The daddy that raised you really ain't your daddy. He was a man that's that you really think is somebody else that is your child. I mean, he's not the daddy. What's up, cousin? My cousin.
Hey, Valerie.
Valerie says she got emotions about the Roe v. Wade. I think the system should evaluate each lady, girl, woman situation, because some ladies use abortion as a birth control. I agree. I work with receptionist in a clinic years ago, I would see some of the same things after 3 to 6 months. I get it.
I get you, Valerie. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you too. But then again, I feel like there has to be some responsibility that these men take as well. It's a two-part situation.
But not only that, Valerie, my thing is, at what part does the clinic play? If you're gonna get those repeaters that's coming in at 3 to 6 months, at what point is the clinic gonna play? Are they gonna say, no, you can't do that?
You're right. You were supposed to go.
Yeah, what part are they playing? What role are they playing in the whole thing? It's about, I mean, I don't know. Can they play a role? I mean, because it's another again, it's a thing again, it's a privacy thing. So are you really gonna tell that female or that woman, that girl or whatever that's been in there that's came in there 3 months or 6 months ago, sweetheart, you don't need to do this to your body? I mean, so what role does the clinic play? And I guess that's why the clinic never said no to these women. And I guess that's why I say, since y'all ain't saying no, we gonna shut y'all down.
Right. Well, it's crazy all around. Again, yep, you're right. It is all about the money. Instead of saying, after your second abortion, we can't do a third one. I'm sorry. So you better wrap it up, strap it up, tape it up, whatever you need to do, because you won't be able to. We're gonna put you in a system that's worldwide, globally. I'm sorry, we can't help you. You know what I mean? Like it's got to be accountability from not just the clinic. But again, these men that these women are laying down with, somebody has to be responsible for this. And if they're coming in there overturning things, then again, they need to be there through the whole process of this woman giving birth to this child, the financially, every piece of it. Since they want to call the shots and say, have this baby, be a part and be in this baby's life. Financially, emotionally, everything, government, come sit next to me. Let's do this together. Since you made the call that I have to keep it.
Because if you can prove the fact that man raped that baby or that girl or that woman, so if she can find him and then they can prove that he did it, or the uncle or the brother or whatever created incest or caused some incest and the baby got pregnant or the girl got pregnant, who's going to be held accountable? What are you going to do with that man? The Bible says eye for an eye. Back in the day, they used to do an eye for an eye. So what you gonna do? Cut his penis off, and make sure he don't have no more babies?
Right. What you gonna castrate him? You gonna flog him? I mean, what's gonna be done? You gonna make him take some type of birth control? Like what's up? Because there's a consequence to every action.
For every action, there's a reaction, and the reaction would be, because the man has got to be at fault for something. He got to be at fault for something, other than just going on trial and going to jail or prison for rape or incest or whatever. Come on now, there's got to be some other thing to do to him.
Yeah, accountability. There's accountability, and it's one-sided, and that's how I feel about it. It's one-sided accountability, and that's that. Again, if they can come up with the boys now being teenagers can take the HPV vaccine and all this other stuff, there's other things that they can come up with besides condoms for these males, period.
They should, but they ain't. Other than a condom, they should do something else. Like you just said, they should do something else other than a condom, because it's easier to cover it up. And I don't know why men think too that if you put it in, you pull it out, you ain't gonna get her pregnant. Lie.
Yeah, this ain't pay and pull. This ain't. You can't. That doesn't work. Pay and pull doesn't work.
No,
because all the time.
Because right now, as Valerie said, it's a one-sided story. Everything is one-sided, and it's going to get one.
Yeah, and it's one-sided towards the woman, basically. We're suffering the consequences of decisions that two people make when it comes to making a child. And it's not always two people, because again, a lot of times the woman could be incest, it could be rape, it could be a number of traumatic things for a woman, teenager, young girl, etc. I mean, I've heard of little girls, girls as young as 11, 12 years old, being impregnated by, you know, someone in their family member, and it's disturbing.
Very.
So for someone else to be able to have that kind of power over, you know, your body, it's already traumatic enough that you had to experience this. Someone took something from you, and now they're taking something from you again.
Very hard, very difficult, and to think that they have to live with that for the remainder of their life. You know, it's got to be. So you got a uncle, brother, sister, cousin that's your child, but they'll go Sister Mary Joseph over there that you related to. Make that make sense. But I can't take my baby to protect her and get her out of this situation and help her relieve some mental stress by saying, baby, you know, we got to get this, you know, this is what we got to do. Because it's easier to sit down and explain to the girl or the lady or the daughter or whatever what needs to be done. But they don't want to do that. You know, they want to just automatically say, I don't care what happened to you. I don't care why it happened, when, where. I don't care who did it. You're going to have that baby.
Terrible. It's terrible. We will never, it will never make sense, everything that's happening nowadays, because again, it's biblical, it's spiritual. We're in the Revelations, so, you know, right is wrong and wrong is right. And so it's just a very bad time. So I don't know what your thought is, your belief, or whatever, spiritually, however, you know, get yourself together, regardless of what that is, because we're in some very traumatic times. And even our younger generation, even kids that are 5 and 6 and 4 years old, are experiencing stresses and trauma that like we've never seen ever in the history before. And it's really sad, because at those ages you should be carefree and not thinking about a lot of stresses that they're seeing, and a lot of things that they're being thrown into.
Crazy. Don't make sense at all. So y'all know what time it is. It's Wind Down Wednesday, you know, and we've been sitting here talking about Roe v. Wade. We talked about the Miranda rights. You need to make sure you look up your Miranda rights, because you need to know that your right to remain silent ain't your right to remain silent no more, because you can't sue the police for not reading you your rights. They can do stuff and they can grab some of your property off of somewhere. And you was like, well, they didn't read me my rights before they got all that. You better go check that out, people. You better check it out, because I'm telling you, you're going to mess around and think that you have a right to remain, and your right ain't to remain nothing, because he didn't read it to you or she didn't read it to you, and ain't nothing you can do. So read that. And all that was done by the Supreme Court. And we always tell y'all, go vote. Please go vote. Go out and cast your vote. Make sure that everything is done. Everybody, you know, get these people out of office and put some new people in office that's got sense.
Yeah, for sure. So we're at the time of the show where we leave positive quotes. Valerie said, "Yes, it is end time. The Bible has been fulfilled. Vote when it's time to vote, for sure, definitely." This was a challenging show, just because of how passionate sometimes that we can be. So a positive quote for me would just be to stay focused, safety first, and in all things, always. Think things through. You know, think things through. And if it's something that you don't know, try to find out. Try to find an answer for it. If it's some things that you put off, educate yourself about it, whether it's the Roe versus Wade. You know, I kind of knew about it. I didn't really know too much about it. Look it up, read it, you know, investigate it. Same thing with the Miranda rights. Just positively, for me, stay educated on all things. Stay in faith is, whatever your belief is, hold on to that, and just keep doing the best you can. You know, that's all we can do. You know, so stay positive, get educated, stay educated, educate somebody else, and keep it moving.
Good. The more you know, the more you grow, the more knowledge you have, the better it is that you can tell somebody else and explain to them what is going on. But I'm like sis say, you know, get out there and do what you got to do. Try to learn as much as you can learn, as often as you can learn it. And, because I don't think we do that enough. We love you too, Valerie. And on that note, y'all know me. You know me. Positive in, positive out. Reach one, teach one. And it's always better to give than it is to receive. Holla at y'all.
See you next week.
Doses.